We've been staring at what feels like the entire Victorian age. Hello and welcome to this behind the scenes video of historic cooking. Turns out when I recorded this I didn't actually do a lot of behind the scenes footage. So I thought I'd just do a little bit of talking and then show you the footage that I did actually get. So we shot this back in the kind of mid-February time, and the brief I was given was Victorian, because we were going to look at the Victorian era. Joy was looking through the collection stuff and found a really good cookbook. And after kind of going through it, she suggested doing cheesecake. So we decided doing a Victorian cheesecake, and then I was going to do a modern day version as well. That was really fun. The Victorian cheesecake is not really like anything that we know as cheesecake. Today it's more like a tart, but you'll see that in the main video. So here is a bit of time-lapse footage of me coming back from the shop and organising our click and collect order. Just makes it a lot easier in COVID times to do the click and collect. After organising all the stuff, I made some breakfast for Joy and I. All these eggs are not just for me. It's really important to make sure that I've got a good breakfast before I'm on camera and cooking all day. Here is a simple recipe to make your own candied peel for Christmas time, or if you do want to try and make these Victorian cheesecakes. I'm in the kitchen again because we are going to be recording another episode of Historic Cooking, episode 2, where we're looking at Victorian dishes. But for this dish we are needing some candied peel. We're recording this in February, and candied peel is quite a common thing around Christmas, and I haven't been able to find it in any of the shops. So it's quite a simple thing, so I thought I'd just make some. Candied peel is just the rind of citrus fruits that you boil, and then you kind of boil in sugar, and then you let dry, and then you toss them into sugar as well. So yeah, we're just going to make a simple candied peel. So we've got this orange, and we're just going to take the rind off. Quite simple. Now you can do this if you save your peels when you eat fruit, but we haven't got any saved, so we're just starting from scratch. But we'll have this as a nice snack later. So there we go, take the rind off, some of this bit out. Okay, and then we're going to just get these peels, and we're just going to slice them into fairly thin strips, like so. And then we're just going to take these strips, they're about half a centimetre thick or so, and we're just going to pop them into some boiling water, and we're going to boil them for 10 minutes. So our pot is boiling away, so we're just going to pop our peel in there, and we're going to cook it for about 10 minutes. Cool, so these have just been boiling for about 10 minutes. So we're just going to drain these now onto this wire rack for about 15 minutes or so. So you can see they've just gone a little bit softer. The next step is to cook these in like a sugar syrup. So rather than draining this away and get rid of all the flavour, we're actually going to save some of this. I'm just going to do this over the sink. We've got 300 ml of reserved orange water. We're actually going to do 2-to-1 ratio, so we've got 300 ml of water here, and then we've got 150 grams of our sugar, and we're just going to let that dissolve. So I'm going to pop this pan on the back just because we don't have extraction over here. So you want to bring that pan up to the boil and then reduce it down to a simmer, and then after the 15 minutes we'll pop our peels a little bit drier and cooler back into the sugar syrup, and we'll cook those for about 8 to 10 minutes as well. Cast the sugar in a bowl. I'm going to get our candied peel, pop it into a bowl. We're just going to ideally toss that in some sugar. So that was a simple candied peel recipe, super easy to make, and I think, to be honest, I might actually look at making it around Christmas time as well for gifts for friends and family. If you wanted to, you could use different flavours, so you could use any kind of citrus fruit really, so you could use grapefruit, oranges, lemons, limes, all of those kind of citrus zest works really well as candied peel. So the next little thing that I did record that isn't going into the main show is I was a little bit extra. People who know me and know me as a cook know that I can be quite extra when it comes to cooking. So what we did was a technique that I saw from Binging with Babish, and we made some toasted sugar to go in the modern day version of the cheesecake. So for this part of the modern day recipe, we're going to just add a little bit more flavour, and we're just going to toast some sugar. So we're just going to get a whole bag of sugar here, and we're just going to pour it into our tray. Now we're not going to be using all of the sugar, but we can always save this and we can add it to other desserts and baking things that we're using. So I'm just gonna give it a little shake and kind of let it even out, and then we're just gonna pop this into the oven at about 150. We're gonna put it in there for an hour, and then we're gonna give it a good mix, and then we're just gonna keep toasting it for about another 2 to 4 hours, and then giving it a mix every half an hour, just making sure it's not too caramelized. But we want to just get a nice little caramelizey toastiness to the sugar. Once the sugar is toasted, take it out of the oven and let it cool for a moment. Once it's cooled down, put it into a food processor to help it break up, box it up, and then you can use it when you're baking or in a coffee or just where you would normally use sugar. It's a really good, like, added little bit of flavour. Yeah, so we are pretty much at the end of day one. It's got a mix, I would say. This is the reason why we have 2 days of shooting. So the first day is kind of basically making sure the recipes are kind of tested, ready for the filming. I am definitely more of a savoury cook than I am a sweet cook. I think I know cooking a lot better than I do baking. So the Victorian recipe that we did turned out really good. Quite surprised. It definitely doesn't seem like a normal cheesecake as we know it, but it's yeah, it's quite tasty. We had a little taste of it, but the vegan one, the first one that came out of the oven, looks a bit like this. Yeah, it didn't go well. It's starting to set a little bit more. But yeah, I am got another one in the oven at the moment, but not round, just a kind of rectangular one. Just changing a couple of things. That's the problem with some vegan recipes. Like the regular one that I would normally cook has got eggs, and it helps set the recipe a bit more. So it's just trying to find a better way of setting the cheesecake and like holding it together. So attempt number 2 is in the oven. I'm really hoping that one works, the tweaks I've made. So we're good to go for the filming tomorrow. So yeah, that is the end of day 1. So that was episode 2 of Behind the Scenes of Historic Cooking. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. It was really fun doing another historic cooking. We currently are going to shoot the episode 3 quite soon, as I'm recording this kind of like behind the scenes thing, and we have quite an exciting episode 4 as well, which we are already looking into. So definitely make sure that you give me a little follow, and also follow the Herbert Art Gallery Museum. I'll put a link just here. Check out their videos as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and if you do make the candied peel, or you make the toasted sugar, or if you do make any of the recipes from the historic cooking series, share them with me. Send me a little tag on Instagram at @knitslips. I would love to see you guys making the stuff that I'm making. If you want to see more content of mine, I've got my first season of the podcast, which is out, that you can check out on YouTube and Instagram. It's also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you want to listen to the audio versions. I hope everyone's staying safe, and take care. Hello, my name's Tom, and welcome to Historic Cooking. This episode we're going to be looking at a Victorian recipe. We're going to be looking at cheesecakes. The filling is not like a cheesecake recipe as we kind of know it. It's a little bit more like a lemon curd. The Victorian recipe doesn't have too many guides on actually how to cook the filling. It just says put everything into the pot and then put it on a low fire. We've been stirring it what feels like the entire Victorian age. We're going to do this modern day version as a vegan recipe. We're using this loaf tin, but if you want to, you can make a round one. From all of us here at the Herbert Art Gallery and Museum and myself, we hope you all stay safe, and we will see you in the next episode.